Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Awesemo.com NBA strategy show presented by No House Advantage. I'm Dave Loughran at Lofty_D on the Twitters, LOUGHY_D for those of you podcast listeners out there. Joined by the fella that was joining me in a picture yesterday, Josh Engelman, at Josh Engelman on Twitter. After 4 years of doing shit, literally almost 4 years, I think it was July of 18, I finally met this fella as he passed through my way on his trip to the airport, and we had a nice time. What's going on, man?
Not too much, man. A little tired. Yesterday was a long one. I was up and down the East Coast, but that's fine. We enjoyed a nice lunch, had a killer burger, did some
drinks,
afternoon, did some afternoon shots. Yeah, did some afternoon shots. Yeah, we had some fun. We got into it.
It was a good time, man. We'll do it again for sure. And
absolutely.
People had asked, did you see all the questions? Oh, you telling me there's not a yearly Awesemo get together? There's not. There's got to be. There's got to be. Jordan Klein's setting it up, dragging his feet.
Yeah. So we'll get nothing done.
Jordan, we got it set up. We good?
Oh,
you
can't do everything around these parts.
You produce things, including team vacation.
Things are in the works. We're working on it.
Yeah,
produce me in Chicago.
It's actually not Jordan dragging his feet. It's just a process, but
sure is.
It's funnier that way. But we'll do that. One day, maybe we'll just do like again, everybody get together and everybody can come out. Who knows? But it was a good time, and it was nice to hang out. And here we are back at it once again on a Thursday morning. You and I haven't done shows together for probably like 2 weeks now because, well, Monday there were no games, so we didn't have live before lock, and then Sunday and the previous Thursday you were vacationing. So
I was.
Now we're back to the 1 game slates, of which you and I crushed last year, deep into the finals until the end of that. So back at it again. These showdown slates are different. As always, it's so tough to 2 game slates. At least you have some value. Do you think it's going to be tougher to find value going forward in these sites, or do you think the sites are just going to price it so it makes it at least somewhat achievable?
I mean, the further you get deeper into these series, the worse it usually gets, barring injuries. Rotations get tighter and everything sort of stabilizes. Like game 5, game 6, game 7, barring any COVID or sprained ankles or anything like that, it gets to be really difficult to figure. Like you don't get new people. The only way that you're getting those sort of minutes are in like extreme blowouts. You kind of just either have to think correctly with the coach or legitimately just get lucky on the hot shooting.
Pretty much. And we've seen that though, like Peyton Pritchard in game 1. Yeah. Right. That's not always going to be the case that he just gets a ton of minutes and shoots well, but he did. And he was an integral part in any winning lineup. So it happens. It definitely happens. By the way, hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. Welcome to everyone that's hanging out with us this morning. We're happy to have you with us. But 16 likes right now. Oh God.
It's not great.
It's not great.
It's not
great. We'll get there.
If you don't want to hit the like button, guys, go ahead and gift a subscription.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. It's funny too, because yesterday, and subscribe to the channel, by the way. So Josh yesterday we were sitting down and he's like, did you know you could gift memberships now? I said, I did it. And then I don't know what, a couple minutes later, we see Jordan pop up in Slack saying the exact same thing. And you can gift memberships. So apparently Jordan Lockhart, our guy Jordan Lockhart, gifted like 30 of them during Live Before Lock yesterday. So he kicked it off nice.
Yeah, that's great. I just assume our Jordan has somehow bugged my phone and is listening to my conversations, stealing my ideas,
looking for insight, looking for innovation that's not actually his.
Yeah, exactly. Much like me being in front of everybody on trucker hats, I was ahead of everybody on this.
Great minds think alike, Josh. Great minds think alike.
Nope.
But yeah, happy to have you guys here. Christopher, what's up, man? And Tony, whatever you got going on, hope it gets better, brother. But nice to see you with that iced out badge in here back again. You can hit that join down below too. Get the free super chats each month, custom emojis, mostly those sweet badges. I mean, the blue iced up ones are sick. Wait till we get to the 2-year badges. They look even better.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll always prioritize your questions and comments along with our premium Discord members. All right. Let's not belabor the point here or the small talk. We can get into a little bit of conversation. What? Never mind.
What? Go ahead.
What?
What do you got?
I can't. It's not right. It's not right. Let's talk. I'll hit you. Let's talk a little bit of basketball here. So
I'm so confused. I have no idea where you're going.
I know you don't. And I am not. I hate doing this to viewers where they're like, oh, what was he going to say? And then I don't say it. I think that's a cop out.
Yeah.
And it's a scumbag move. But this is one of those. And it's not even bad. It's just I shouldn't say it. So it's not like a cancelable offense. It's not like it would offend anybody. Well, it would offend one person.
I could take a couple guesses then, I guess.
NBA, Boston and Miami. Boston Celtics plus 3.5, 208.5 total. So let's zoom out. Take a 30,000 foot view here. There's the correct.
I had one of those yesterday.
Correct. Yes, you did. Correct way to say it. As people say, I always take 100,000. No, it's a 30,000 foot view. As if you are in an airline.
100,000 feet of fucking moon.
Right.
I don't know where the moon is.
But like a 30,000 foot view is feasible because you fly, right?
How far away is the moon?
I don't know. It would take less time to get to California from here.
Yeah, well, like by foot or?
Do you not remember? Shaq
Do you
said
know
that.
Do you know the answer?
No, but hold on. Shaq said that on a live stream. He's like, you can see the moon, you can't see California.
I mean, this is a guy that thinks that you get less gas by filling it up at the halfway point.
Oh, that's the best. What a treasure him and Chuck are.
240,000 miles, by the way.
How much?
240,000.
That doesn't seem like that much.
I mean, it simultaneously seems like not a lot and more than I can comprehend.
240,000 miles, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
my wife didn't want to drive 50 miles once.
So for me, that's like driving up and back from California 40 times.
I feel like we just did this math to find out how many oysters somebody ate.
California is what, like 3,000 miles, give or take? So yeah. Divide that by 3, divide 240,000 by 80 or by 3,000. That's 80 miles or 80 times.
Yeah. 40 round trips to California.
Up and back, 40 round trips to California. It's not as bad as I thought.
No, that seems perfectly reasonable. I legitimately had no idea what the answer was.
I don't know. If you ask me, I would say whoever was in the Apollo 11 had it easy.
Wait, which one was that? That's not the bad one, is it?
Wasn't that? No. No, wasn't the Apollo 11 the first one that went to the moon?
I was going to say that was the one that exploded, but I don't remember it.
No, that was the Challenger.
Oh yeah, I tweeted about that once.
Oh, that's good. Right next to right. What could you have possibly tweeted about the Challenger?
I don't know if I could say it, but it's not bad.
It's not.
No, it's really not. But some people wouldn't like it. It was in reference to, if I would have ate that Nashville hot chicken sandwich, something like that.
Gotcha.
By the way, 238,000 miles. It's just I can't even wrap my head around that.
What about the planets that are measured in light years, dude?
Dude, the sun is 92 million miles.
Yeah. Yeah. 92 million. Now, see, that seems pretty extreme. I wouldn't want to make that trip.
It takes us 3 days. It takes a spacecraft 3 days to make it to the moon.
Right. I mean, it just seems.
That's quite the road trip.
Yeah, it seems easy.
I guess I shouldn't say road. There's no road involved at all.
It would take me more time to get to California in a car.
Yeah.
You know,
Would you go to the moon?
you have to get through that radiation belt, that Van Allen radiation belt, I believe they call it. That's a little bit concerning. Do I think anyone's ever gone to the moon would be a better question.
Okay, go.
Not sure. I think it's suspect. I think it was during the space race and, you're trying to assert dominance. Am I crazy? Maybe.
If you had to bet on it right now.
Did we land on the moon?
Did someone land on the moon?
Did humans land on the moon?
Yeah.
If I had to, like, okay, if you're just giving me like even money odds and I'm just saying like one or the other, and then I find out, I would say yes, but it would be, I would very much lack confidence in that bet.
Okay.
That would be like me betting the over under in tonight's game. I have no idea. Like, I just have no idea.
Okay.
What about you? You think we landed on the moon?
Firm yes.
Firm yes?
Yeah.
But that's just because you believe what you're told.
Here's my answer. If we didn't, I don't even believe space is real.
Okay.
That's the only way that I can go there.
Really?
I think it's way too big of a thing to fake.
Why haven't we gone back in 60 years? I
I
know they'll be like,
because it sucks. It's the same reason we don't vacation to shitty
telling
places.
Me no one would want to get like high resolution video and stuff from the moon.
Yeah, we have that. We just send a Roomba
right, but like
with a GoPro on it.
I know, but I'm saying, and you're right about that, right? Like we had the Mars rover and everything, but that stuff's not interesting. I want someone out there with a GoPro and one of those wicked golf carts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't think we have to. That's the thing. We can send things up there, that we can send a robot up there with whatever we want. It'll scoop stuff up and take all the pictures we could possibly want. And no one has to go up and find out that there's nothing there that matters.
No, I know. I think we probably did go. And I'm not a conspiracy. I always find it funny when people talk about like the conspiracy theory stuff with the moon, because it doesn't hurt. This is not a conspiracy theory that hurts anyone. People like, what? You don't think we went to the moon? My God, you are an animal. You're unsavable.
Or like, no, especially at this point now, it's meaningless. It does not matter if we did or we didn't.
Right. It is meaningless. But it was now it is, right, at the time. But that's what I'm saying, Josh. At the time, it wasn't meaningless at all. It was huge because we were in competition with some other superpowers across the globe, Oh
man. So
I'm not saying you said, I'm not saying
go?
You go Blue. I'm not saying you said it hurt anybody. I'm saying that a lot of people look at all conspiracy theories the same. Although I guess I am a conspiracy theorist.
Like if we could go, would you want to go?
To the moon?
Yeah.
So I asked this question the other day. If you could go to space for free, would you do it? And I would go in an instant. Yeah, I'd go in a heartbeat.
Yeah, people like Strahan just did it. Like Bezos, obviously. Like I would do one of those.
But going to the moon though is a little bit different. I feel. I think there might be some more risks associated with that. Would you go?
Probably, yeah. I'd want to like hit a golf ball and just watch it go forever.
That's what I'm saying, man. You bring what are those dudes' names that do all the trick shots? You bring them up there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I would just be so afraid to like jump and then fly away. I don't know how gravity works, man.
I don't think you would fly away. They would rope you in. They'd lasso you.
I would hope so.
Yeah. You got to be on like a bungee cord, right? Dude, perfect. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I hope so, man.
I would go up there. I would want to go on one of those wicked golf carts. The one like the buggy.
Like an Armageddon.
You know what I'm talking about? What?
Yeah, like they drove around in Armageddon.
Yeah, and it just like goes over a rock cliff and cruises. I mean, it'd be the sickest thing.
Float.
Tell me we shouldn't go back if we've been there.
I just assume it sucks.
Yeah.
Like think about the most boring place you could possibly go here. Like on the planet already. It's that.
Yeah. So like somewhere in the plains, like in the Midwest.
Yeah, like we're not going to get a right, exactly. Like the entire middle of our country. Straight whatever third is down the center might as well be the moon to me.
The flyover states.
Yeah. Yeah. Like some Kansas cornfield. That's the same thing. I probably can't get a Starbucks there either.
Yeah, but you could see the Earth.
What do you mean? Oh, like from the moon?
Can't you?
Oh, I mean, I would imagine that's the coolest shot in one of those David Attenborough docs is the shot back at the Earth, which just not okay for me.
Yeah. And no, Jojo, Idaho is sick, dude. Look up. No, I'm serious. Look up like Coeur d'Alene in Idaho.
Yeah,
one of the sickest places.
Team Idaho for me.
Yeah, one of the sickest places I've ever seen. Now, Idaho's for real. Like if it wasn't freezing for half of the year, I would definitely move to Idaho, hands down. I would. All right.
Joseph Ramirez says, we're known for wheat, not corn, Josh. Well, I'm gluten intolerant, so I don't want to be there still.
Are you?
No.
I was going to say, you just ate a burger yesterday.
It was delicious, too.
All right. Boston and Miami. Michael Dixon, get the fucking basketball. All right, pal. It's a 1-game slate.
Just for that, we're going 15 more minutes on the moon.
Yeah. A subject of which we know nothing about.
I could not know less.
You know what is interesting to me, though, is the fact that, like, many of the planets, they're not even, like, they're just gas planets. Like, why are they even planets? They're not even, there's no, like, rock. They don't even know, some of them, if there's I guess there's a core deep down, but they're just gas.
I'm mostly gas to begin with, but that's neither here nor there.
That's not a planet.
I just watched something about planets actually yesterday. It was a visual of what every planet would look like in the sky if it was the same distance as the moon. This is actually oddly fitting. Saturn and Jupiter are terrifying, man. It's the whole sky.
Oh, yeah.
You don't realize how big those things are.
Jupiter has like 8 moons.
Yeah, it was incredibly scary.
I watched a video of what would happen if you were dropped into their atmosphere, like, and onto it. And all of them, it's just like you're dead before you're even close. You're
incinerated in like a second, I'm sure.
Or there's just, or it's just insane, what do I say, noxious gases. Just like you're just dead. Even if you're not incinerated, you die from being immediately poisoned. So we live in I like our planet the best.
Yeah, it seems like we've got the best one.
It does.
Of all of the ones we've ever found ever.
And people talk about,
isn't that convenient? Isn't that really convenient?
It's
We're incredible. The only place.
Meanwhile, people want to like go, create civilization on Mars. Why? You were talking about shit. Can't even breathe there.
I'd go right now if I could.
See, that's ridiculous. No, you would not.
If I could just be alone.
You'd be alone, all right. You'd be like that movie with Matt Damon.
Do you know how many times I've watched that movie? Jealous.
What's the movie called?
Martian.
The Martian. It was okay.
It was fantastic. I read the book.
Interstellar was way better than The Martian.
I don't agree, but I like them both.
Okay, that's fair. Interstellar is one of my favorites, but I'm also a big Matthew McConaughey guy. Like that's my dude.
He is unquestionably unbelievable in that role, but and I don't mean like his performance is exceptional. I mean like I don't believe him as an astronaut.
Oh, come on.
Come on, man. He can't be like the smartest engineering astronaut and Magic Mike. I know he's not Magic Mike. I know that's the other one, but like, you know what I mean?
Stop it.
Wooderson. You mean Wooderson is able to travel through space-time?
Dude, he was Rust Cole in True Detective, and that was believable. That's different than Magic. Wait, Magic Mike was Channing Tatum.
Yeah, but like, he's in the movie, right?
I don't know. Never saw it.
I don't know. I don't remember his character's name, but it gets the point across.
Okay. So you have Jimmy Butler coming off. There's a segue for you. Jimmy Butler coming off a 41-point game.
Yeah.
41 points. He had 17 in the third. He just went nuclear in the second half. He got to the line 18 times. He shot 17 for 18 from the free throw line. truly crazy stuff.
Chris Middleton would have had 42 points, man.
What's that?
Chris Middleton would have had 42 points.
Yeah. Tyler Hero was like the only other guy to really make a dent in Miami that game. And then on the other side, I mean, Jason Tatum was good. He was fine from a DFS standpoint. He just didn't come close to sniffing Jimmy Butler. I mean, Butler was outrageously good in that game.
Yeah, look, 17 of 18 from the line is crazy. I don't think any of that was nonsense. I think he earned most of that. He had a truly exceptional game. There's not really anything else that can get added to it. I think it's going to help dramatically to have Marcus Smart back today. I hope that he's not compromised at all and they could just sort of do it. It sucks that there's still no Al Horford. I think Al Horford is more important to the Celtics than Kyle Lowry is to the Heat, but it's basically a wash now for older veteran players from your starting lineup that can't play today. So there's not much more I could add there, but I mean, I think everything begins and ends with Butler today.
That's crazy thought, because Butler's been someone that is usually projected a lot lower than not. Well, yeah, I think it was like we had him 5 points low everywhere across the industry. Butler was projected significantly lower than Jason Tatum last game. He was also cheaper than Jason Tatum. Yeah. Now he's not. I mean, it's very similar price points for sure, right? Like, even if you're looking at the captain spot, 15.9 for Tatum, 16.5 for Jimmy Butler. But I would actually want to see if I crunch some lineups here, just unadulterated crunches, and see how much I get Jimmy. I don't know if you've done that yet, but I am interested.
I have.
You have? Okay, yeah. So what are you getting?
So my data looks pretty similar to what our current ownership looks like. I think you get to I think you get to Tatum slightly more frequently than you get to Butler in the captain spot. And I think that you get to Butler the opposite way in utility. No, sorry. Am I saying that flip-flopped? You get to Tatum slightly more at utility. You get to Butler slightly more at captain because of their pricing. Sorry. The cheaper guy is in the utility spot slightly more often.
Is it easy to make decent lineups with Butler or Tatum in the captain spot today?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's going to create a lot of similarity in my opinion, but I think the easiest way to do it is with someone like Gabe Vincent, who to me is just not priced correctly for what his role is going to be. 4,400 is just so easy to get to at utility. And then because Horford is still out, it opens you up for some value out of either Daniel Tice, or if you think Caleb Martin continues to get minutes, only the flat minimum 1,000 today. If he can play like 10 minutes again, you can pretty easily get to Butler and Tatum.
Yeah, the Gabe Vincent price point does seem really good. It's funny though, because last game you had Peyton Pritchard at 3,600. He played 30 minutes. He didn't even shoot particularly well, but he was not afraid to shoot. He still had 18, 5, and 4. He's 4,800 now. And then you had Robert Williams, who was 4,800 in that game, is now 6,200. Talking about utility pricing here, 28 minutes, 6 for 8, 18 and 9, strong game there. So two of the key players last game that would have been in the optimal and in most winning lineups are more expensive. But it does give you Gabe Vincent. Are there any other cheaper options that I know you mentioned somebody like Tice, but Dwayne Dedman, if he plays another 11, 12 minutes, there's not a lot down here.
Now, Dedman probably not the guy for me. That's going to take probably some foul trouble. And even then, I don't know if they would just go to PJ Tucker at the 5 instead. I don't think there's a lot of like meat on the bone for Dedman in this series. If Horford were around, that might be the case, but I don't think that really stands here. So to me, it's Caleb Martin at 1,000, Daniel Tice at 1,800. That's it. I mean, to me, that's honestly it. Like, I don't really like. There's no way you're going to $4,800 Peyton Pritchard. To me, you don't put him in a single lineup today.
No, I mean, Smart's expected to play.
Like Oladipo's 5,200. That's an outrageous price tag. I mean, like PJ Tucker at 4,600, but I don't think that's like news.
I would have happily gotten the Pritchard at this price point if Smart was not expected to play. I mean, I wouldn't have felt wonderful about it, but knowing that he could play 30 minutes, I would have been fine. The problem is you need Marcus Smart on the floor. You need his defense, especially when Jimmy Butler is just killing you in ISO, and you don't expect to have Al Horford there to defend the paint. He's doubtful for this one, or highly unlikely to play today. That's a problem. So I think you come in, or you see this game, and Marcus Smart comes in, and assuming that he is at full strength, I'm assuming he will be. My guess is they held him out and he's fine. He's going to play close to 40 minutes. Excuse me.
I gave him 36, just because little nervous coming back of what his injury actually was. Still looks good to me.
If he's good.
Yeah, like still looks good to me. Showed up in 35% at the utility. That's like your normal starter spot. Would it surprise me if he played 40 minutes? Absolutely not. But I'm a little wary on a guy coming back.
Okay. With Horford being, let's just consider him out for now, highly unlikely to play. Do we look at a Grant Williams again, who was, the thing with Grant Williams is he was already playing a lot of minutes. And you want to talk about one of the most volatile players left in the postseason. It's clearly Grant Williams. I mean, he can legitimately play 35 minutes and finish with, 5 fantasy points. He did it in game 5 against Milwaukee. He played 31 minutes and had 3 fantasy points, which is nearly impossible to do. And then he attempted 18 threes in game 7 against Milwaukee. So I don't know what to make of him. Game 1 against Miami was dreadful, but where are we looking at with him and Robert Williams, even though his prices come up?
So Grant Williams, not grading out all that well for me. I think 5,400 price, a little bit more lofty than I'm looking for here. It's the second most expensive price he's had in all of the playoffs, other than having the exact same price in what looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 game 5 against Milwaukee. By the way, in game 5 against Milwaukee, he had 3 fantasy points. So didn't quite get there on that one.
31 minutes.
Yeah, not ideal. And I think he's playing comparable minutes here, but I'm not a huge fan. I just think that the price is a little bit too inflated. It'll get some shots, but this is a different series now. And I just think that he's too costly. Robert Williams, I'm much more likely to go to. The fact that he was able to play 28 minutes in his first game back there after not playing for 10 days and basically not playing a ton, even in that game 10 days ago. I gave him 28 minutes, and I think that he could pretty easily get to 30 or 32 if he needed to. He looked energetic in game 1. I was happy to get there. So I have him as my 6th best utility play today. 6,200 seems like a really nice price tag. 28 minutes, and I think there's upside.
Okay. And we'll definitely hit on some maybe captains that aren't at the top tier of pricing in a minute. But let's get into a couple of these mid-range plays. Before we do, though, No House Advantage. I don't know if you checked it out yet, but everybody that signs up there for the first time gets a $25 deposit bonus when you use the promo code Awesemo, AWESEMO. Very cool format over there. Player prop tools. Player prop contest. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. It's been a tough morning, let me tell you.
I had a great night's sleep.
This wasn't even like a baby thing, having a baby. This is just, you have those nights from time to time.
For sure.
But give you an entirely new way to enjoy DFS with player prop contests. 100% peer-to-peer, help to level the playing field. They have an insane amount of props over there. Large offering of props. All of the tools that we built for No House Advantage, No House Advantage projections, and the optimal lineup tool are free over at awesemo.com, which is solid. And of course, they can be found in the App Store, the Google Play Store, or at nohouseadvantage.com. One of the big things too is that all the props over there are static. They don't change. You're just taking the over or the under. No juice on either side. And if something moves throughout the day, it's not moving at No House Advantage, which we may say, oh, I don't get any advantage there at all. You do though. People will always miss that stuff, and you're playing against the field. So with these lineups, you're putting a guy at the top that you have the most faith in, and it gets the most points. The prop that you're least confident in goes at the bottom. So you're really just building a lineup without salary, but you're doing it with player props. And you get $25 deposit bonus when you sign up using the promo code Awesemo, AWESEMO. Remember, use the free tools, use Odd Shopper, use our player prop tools, and beat the field over there at nohouseadvantage.com. All right. It gets a little weird once you get into the hero and Max Strus type of guys, because as we saw last game, Tyler Hero can have a game where he ends up being optimal. He could also have a game where he shoots poorly and ends up being an afterthought. The very same thing can be said for Max Strus, who had 2 straight double-doubles, which is completely unsustainable, and then was, modest at best last time out.
Yeah, and I see both of those guys as like the exact same play today. It's kind of crazy. Okay. It's so crazy, in fact, that like they literally are in my sims at the exact same rate at the utility spot, 28%, both guys. I don't know how you separate either one of them. Hero played a little bit. Hero's just playing a little bit less than I expected him to play just in general in the playoffs, which I find interesting. I mean, obviously Duncan Robinson's playing a lot less in the playoffs than I was expecting. So it can't be all that bad for Tyler Hero, but if you've got a lean on Hero or Strus, go with it. I think relative to salary, both of these guys are the exact same play today.
Yeah. Robinson did not get on the floor last game.
No, I don't understand it. I really don't.
I guess it's just that Max Strus can do anything that Robinson got paid to do, except he's doing it better right now.
Yeah. That's really, I guess that's the answer.
I don't know what else it would be. I don't think it's a personal vendetta, with Eric Spoelstra just not like, I'm joking, but yeah, I
mean, like when I say I don't understand it, I obviously understand it. I know why he's not out on the floor. Right. I'm just surprised it's happening.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of ambiguity. He's not good defensively. Like we know the answer.
Yeah, Max Strus definitely better defensively, and that's a huge, huge asset that you can run out there because Strus can shoot threes too. Yeah. So yeah, it took away from Robinson. Strus is shooting 40% from 3, and if you're getting those type of numbers, you're going to take it.
We talked a little bit about Duncan Robinson in Discord last week. I think, I don't know, before I went on vacation. He's going to end up somewhere else next year and play a lot, and people are going to end up being surprised. He's going to have a bounce back year.
I don't disagree with that at all. Honestly, perfect landing spot is the 76ers. Think about it.
I feel like he's probably he needs to be a step below them. Because I think that ultimately the Sixers and the Heat are have similar aspirations. And I think we're seeing, like a bit of a sign that he might not just necessarily be a later in the playoffs type player defensively.
It's possible, but I think he could also be a very solid shooter off the bench in the postseason where they just completely lack that all postseason long.
Yeah. Are you do I want to have him run out there in the second unit instead of Shake Milton? Of course.
Yeah. And obviously there's plenty of teams that are just either in rebuild mode or aren't good that would take him and he would play 35 minutes per game. That's obvious. Like we could just rattle them off. Yeah. But there's also some teams out there that are competitive, but not there yet. The Sixers being one of them in their current build, they're not getting there. Duncan Robinson wouldn't get them there either, but he would definitely not hurt them. So yeah, he'll find. You're right. He'll find.
I said the Cavs. I don't know how that would shake out, but I think he'd be a really good fit there with 2 big defensive players at the 4 and the 5. His aspect of shooting just sort of doesn't really exist for that team. It would really open things up a little bit more for Garland too.
It's like instead of Isaac Okoro.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I think Robinson's size fits a little bit more in comparison to like trying to run Lauri Markkanen at the 3. Like I think Markkanen's miscast there. Some sort of swap that put Duncan Robinson in Markkanen's place would be a little bit more interesting for me. But I think it's got to be a team that like needs that sort of offensive boost, but doesn't really have realistic aspirations of like the second round of the playoffs.
Right. Sixers have aspirations for the second round. That's it. I mean, it's true. They haven't made it past it.
Yeah.
They haven't made it
at
past
least you get everybody back to do it again next year.
Yeah, I can't wait. Where do you think Bam Adebayo figures into all this? And I listen, I get it.
I can't be the guy, man.
What?
Go ahead. I have Bam Adebayo miles ahead of everybody else. So.
I figured that would be the case, but it's not just that he hasn't been good from a DFS standpoint. He's literally not shooting. I mean, his usage rates are through the floor right now, Josh. And I think that's a bit of an issue. Okay. Like He had a 10% usage rate in game 1 of this series. Over the last 3 games that he's played, including, games 5 and 6 against the 76ers and game 1, he has a 12.8% usage rate. There is one player who has gotten minutes in this entire roster, with a lower usage rate than him over those 3 games. That is PJ Tucker at 10.4%.
I don't know what to make of it, and I don't know how to project him. Like, I have him projected for 22% usage, and I never thought there'd be a situation where I thought that felt like wildly incorrect. It feels wildly incorrect, but I don't know how to make that change. He's very, very clearly the second best player on the Heat. I think that there are ways that he is the best player on the Heat, and he is just not showing those things at all.
You just hate Jimmy Butler. You just hate Jimmy.
There's a universe where Bam Adebayo is just dropping like 30 and 15s in this playoffs too.
Without Bam, the Heat are probably in trouble. Without Jimmy Butler, the Heat are screwed.
Yeah, I completely agree.
You just hate him.
Do you have an answer for this? Because I don't. Is he hurt? Do we just not know he's hurt?
My answer, honestly, is I don't think it's necessary to get to a ton of them. Like, he's not that much cheaper than Jaylen Brown, and Jaylen Brown is consistently, getting up a lot of shots. He's rebounding well. The problem with Bam to me is I'm not saying he's necessarily overpriced, but his salary doesn't jump off the page of me like, man, I know he struggled, but I got to get to a lot of Bam today because that game is coming. And I could understand that if somebody felt that way, but even Marcus Smart has been far more consistent and productive than Bam of late. So for me, it's kind of tough. He's in that price point where I could go up a little bit to Jaylen Brown. I could go down a little bit to Marcus Smart. And Bam has just been one of those guys that, hell, Robert Williams is going to play probably 28, 30 minutes in this game. And he's a good fantasy point per minute producer. So is he hurt? I don't know. Is it something to be a little bit concerned about? Sure. Are you getting, what's his ownership at right now?
He's massive.
He's still getting 53% ownership. He's still the 4th highest captain. That's why, to me, I don't know. Everyone's still going to go back to him.
Yeah. Where is the guy that had 25% usage and 60+% true shooting this year?
I don't know.
One of the 10 best rebounders in the league. Where's that guy?
He's not even trying to shoot at this point. It's not even a.
That's what I'm thinking. Is there something wrong with his shoulder?
It's possible. And you know what the other crazy thing is too? You might ask, well, is he just playing more of a facilitating role, get the ball off to Butler, kick it out to the, if you're in the paint, get it out to some 3-point shooters. He has 1 total assist in his last 3 games.
I can't figure it out at all. We're talking about a guy that had well above average assist rate this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's just not an assist guy. He's not participating on the offensive end like we normally see him do it. And I'm obviously like a sample size guy. And it changes in the playoffs. I think you have to be a little bit more reactionary to the matchups because it plays differently than the regular season. When it comes to guys like this, like Bam, legitimate stars, guys that we can talk about in all NBA discussions, it's really hard for me to really stray from what I think his rates normally are. He's not the type of guy that you have to wildly adjust. He's not matchup prone for any of this stuff. It's not like, oh, this is a bad series for Bam Adebayo. He's a star in the NBA. It should all just work. And it is just 10% and 11% in back-to-back games of usage is insane to me. 1 assist in 3 games is insane to me. I don't know what I can change and still think that I'm making a good projection, which I think is why we're seeing, I think the industry agrees. And I think that's why we're seeing the ownership be like it is. I'm really curious to see. It's something we should probably take a look at. I guess we probably won't be able to do it until tomorrow's strategy show, but actually we could do it on Live Before Lock. I want to know what Bam's ownership is in high stakes in comparison to the biggest GPP. The way that we used to look at it for NFL games, like,
Right.
are the sharps playing Bam or are they the ones fading Bam? Is it more aggressive at the top or less aggressive at the top?
I would assume they're going to play him, but I think there's also something to be said that maybe he isn't right. And if he's not right, then I don't blame anyone for using a little subjectivity there and saying, okay, I don't think he's right. Arcadalza said Heat players don't care about stats. They care about winning. They've said this multiple times. Yeah, sure. But a 10% usage rate and zero production as a passer isn't just not caring about stats. It's being an entirely different player than the guy that we've seen all season long that helped get the Heat to the conference championship.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Bam Adebayo had a 25% usage rate this season. Jimmy Butler had 26. He's not just like deferring to Caleb Martin because he thinks it's a better idea for the team here. Like, something different is happening.
Right. I agree.
Now, again, if it's working, I agree. Like, they're going to do whatever works to win the game, 100%. But like, they go into every one of these series, I would imagine, thinking like, we would like Bam Adebayo to do more offensively. We want our best players to do the most stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And it certainly does have a lot to do with Jimmy Butler's just going crazy. Because if you look at Bam's usage in the first two games against the Sixers where Embiid was out, that was a spot that they could really exploit. And he did. He was solid. His usage wasn't crazy, but it came down quite a bit once Embiid returned and Jimmy Butler started to take over. So I get all of that. I'm just saying it's down to a point that is almost concerning. That's all.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by it. All right,
and if they're going to keep
Bam was 44% in the 2K on DK for game one, and he was 46% in the $20 big GPP. So basically neutral.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit. I don't know how much that tells us because it was a non-Horford game. I know this one coming up is too, but I'm saying people there could have been an approach of, well, he just went up against Joel Embiid for 3 straight, right? Or 4 straight. And this should be an easier spot. I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see where he is tonight in high stakes.
I'm really curious.
How do you want to approach non-Butler Tatum captain players? Like, are there any guys even in the mid-range that you think could be viable as captains today?
Yeah, a bunch. Let me get back to the ownership just so that I don't end up speaking totally out of my ass.
Wow, Derek White's out.
Jesus. Okay. Well,
Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah. Well, now Neesmith can play. So everything that I said about how I don't think Neesmith is going to see the floor is different because now he will. We just freed up 24 to 30 minutes.
Well, dude, even when Marcus Smart was in, Derek White was played 34, 32, 30 minutes.
Personal reasons. I hope everything's okay. Personal reasons in the middle of the Eastern Conference Finals generally not a great thing. Hopefully it's like the birth of his first kid or something, but I'd skip that.
Would you?
No, man, just zoom into that shit or something.
Would you skip it?
Yes.
100%?
If I'm playing in game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals, yeah. And I play, yeah. So film it. I'll watch it. It'll be all right. Give me the VR goggles for it.
That's a tough one. I think you'd have to skip it.
You have to. When we're saying skip, we're skipping the birth of the child, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. If it's a regular season game or something, adios, fellas. I got to go for a couple of days.
And I have been through it. I saw the birth of my first child. It was good, but she's a lot cooler now that she's like almost 15 months and can play and run.
Look, I got to ask the question. I think you know where I'm going with this.
I don't.
Did you witness the birth of your first
Said
child?
I wasn't gonna, did. And I'm like, oh, yeah, did. It's wild stuff. They actually make you sign something that if you pass out,
if you go down.
I ain't no sissy, Josh. You get me falling on the floor. I'll file for divorce for my wife because that's just embarrassing. Could you imagine if you're in there and your wife's in all of this pain, like just, excruciating pain. Some of the most pain that a human could go through, from what I've heard, of course.
Sure.
Although men can get pregnant. And I sit there and I pass out. Are you joking? Oh, that would not be good. Not be good.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to look.
But you would. That's the thing. I didn't want to.
No, I wouldn't.
You don't
I
think
wouldn't.
so?
No, I know so.
Think you'll ever have kids?
No,
Definitely not.
definitely not.
100%.
That's the plan for me, at least.
Oh, for you.
Well, I mean, yeah, you never like. There's no plan in place at this moment.
Charles Barkley with the greatest I never. I think women be milking that baby thing. Can't be half as bad as playing basketball on a sprained ankle. And then Kenny goes, because Kenny sets him up. Well, he's like,
that
Chuck,
sounds like
why
something
is it-
I would say on a show, so I'm proud of that quote.
yeah, right. Kenny's like, Kenny, why don't you buy a wife a watch for her birthday? He's like, because there's a clock on the stove.
I'm all for this.
And this past Mother's Day, they brought Chuck's daughter on, who just had a baby recently. So obviously now he's like, yeah, he loves his grandkid and everything. And he's like, baby, honey, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about those other women. Right? It was pretty funny. It was
He's
pretty
the
good
man.
stuff.
The absolute man. Well, I mean, we might as well give it like 5 minutes on the trickle down effects. Aaron Nesmith is going to become incredibly popular. Well, not incredibly popular, but like Aaron Nesmith is now very interesting at $1,000. Peyton Pritchard at 4,800 is now more playable than he was before. Oh, it's gross. Daniel Tice probably looks slightly better here, although in the grand scheme of things, probably doesn't matter. Like Tice and Robert Williams split the 48 minutes in game one. I don't think it would matter, but there are now more minutes to go around.
Yeah, well, not really, because Smart's expected back.
Yeah, but no, like if I take, I don't know if we see the same amount of Peyton Pritchard. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
I can see them being bigger, not smaller now.
What I meant is there's somewhere around similar minutes available as there were last game.
I had Derek White in for 25 today. And like, I don't know. If we get Pritchard to 24 and Nesmith to like 12, where does that get me? What do I have left? So that's still 6 more. That's fair. Like I got a 28-20 split on Williams and Tice right now. I think that opens Tice up to like 22 if need be. They're really thin. That's Marcus Smart being able to play 40 is really important. That relationship between Pritchard and Nesmith is going to be very interesting.
Pritchard had the second highest usage rate on the team last game.
He did.
26%.
He is also quite likely to get hunted in a pick and roll.
Probably. They need Marcus Smart out there as much as possible, but Derek White ran with the starters quite a bit too. So I don't know. Maybe you don't see Williams and Tice split all of the center minutes either today.
You think they go less or more?
Oh, I don't think they play alongside each other. No, I think it could be
at all.
Who, Robert Williams and Tice?
Yeah.
Did they last game?
No, they split 48.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think you might just see some Grant Williams at the 5 and then more smaller lineups.
I don't think Boston's better off getting more minutes to Peyton Pritchard and Aaron Nesmith. I think size might be a bit more important here.
You could be right, but it really just depends. I mean, it depends.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I certainly don't have a feel for that.
Right. I'm just saying, like, if they can just space out the offense and start draining threes, that's how Boston beats you. Like, they have some guys that can do some work inside, but it's really when they're chucking up 43s per game and they knock down 20 of them, so I don't know. Should be interesting.
Yeah, I don't. There are a lot more minutes to go around now than I totally feel comfortable handing out.
I feel comfortable.
I don't know how to go much higher than 36 to Smart. Like we've got him at 39 right now. That scares me. That was before the White news. All right, I have my minutes updated right now. I'm going to assume that the line on this game doesn't move because it's Derek White, but I'm going to run a new crunch to see what's changed, and then we'll get the hell out of here.
Everyone hates Chris. Marcus Smart is back, y'all. Please play Pritchard tonight. Yeah, I know
he must not know that Derek White's out.
Yeah, but Derek White is out, so minutes will open.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the same 30 minutes? No, but it's a one-game showdown site, so
yeah,
there's some value there. Pritchard was already playing, at least 10 minutes per game. So,
all right, here we go.
Probably get to like 23, 24, maybe 22.
I went to 26
on Pritchard.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. I mean, here's what I have. I'll tell everybody what I have right now. 38 for Smart, 26 for Pritchard, 14 for Neesmith, 40 for Brown, 42 for Tatum, 32 for Grant Williams, 28 for Robert Williams, 20 for Tice.
All right, that makes sense.
Like, I don't think that you could really go more than 2 minutes in either direction on anything I just said.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
So if 26 for Pritchard is correct, he went from being in basically no lineups whatsoever for me at 4,800 and playing backup point guard minutes to 22%. Neesmith actually not nearly as prevalent as I was expecting him to be, even in the 14 minutes. I guess that makes sense. He's terrible on a per minute basis, so he needs a little bit more. But so I like Neesmith, Dedman, Caleb Martin. I think all of those guys look pretty similar. I've now bumped Marcus Smart up a bit. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the only trickle down effect now is like Peyton Pritchard is now functionally playable.
Josh, did you know that Awesemo Plus Platinum for the entire month is half off right now?
No, honestly, I didn't.
No, because you've been gone for a while. We just started this.
Yeah, that's a true statement. I didn't know.
50% off the entire month.
Promo code Josh?
No.
Ugh.
Every single tool, you name it, we've got it for baseball, basketball, football, hockey, MMA, or, UFC, PGA, NASCAR, esports. We got F1 and USFL projections, soccer, tennis. If they have contests out there, we have content for it. We got the best tools you're going to find in the industry. And now if you've been waiting for an opportunity to get in on a promo and get that entire month for 50% off, use the promo code NBA Strategy Show. All one word, all caps. NBA Strategy Show. Should just be NBA Strategy. But NBA Strategy Show, all caps, all one word, 50% off. We got a premium Discord as well. You have Office Hours channel where you get the pros in there helping you better your game. The Boom Bust tool, the top stacks. What other tools do we have, Josh? Ownership, player projections.
We've got Antoine Murphy. He's a tool.
Antoine. We got everything over at awesemo.com. So come check it out. NBA Strategy Show, all caps, all one word. So just go to promo awesemo.com/join. And when you check out, use that promo code, 50% off everything on the site. You can get the Fantasy Cruncher add-on if you want as well. All right.
What?
That was a strong one.
Felt good.
Tell me how, as we close this show, and MLB do we have a live before a lock coming up later, or do we have MLB Strategy Show coming up next? MLB live before a lock with Eric. What? It's not now. It's later. Later, live before lock. Yeah. 12 o'clock Eastern time with Eric and Chris Pinnell. Then you got No House Advantage Strategy Show with Greg and Terry McBride. You have PGA Live before. I'm reading everything from yesterday.
Yes, you are. PGA Live before. PGA locked 3 hours ago.
The moment I said that, of course, I realized that would not make very much sense.
Best host in the business, folks.
You know why I am? because I can admit when I fuck up, Josh. Other people, they just pretend that nothing happened. I think it's good sometimes. Back in the day, they'd say, oh, just pretend you didn't screw up. Pretend nothing happened. No, I want to draw attention to it. I want people to understand that even I have flaws when it comes to hosting. I know it seems outrageous, but it is true. And it makes people feel better to understand that I too am mortal and fallible.
Make sure you're tuning into Live Before Lock tonight at, I don't know, whatever time it starts.
This guy's
so you can see some good hosting. Good hosting.
Right.
That'll be
at
myself.
Whatever time it starts. We're not sure, but check out that host.
I don't know, an hour before the game, man. It's Live Before Lock. Everybody gets it.
MLB early Live Before Lock's actually at 11:30 today. Then the MMA strategy show. Then you got a bunch of other stuff coming up throughout the day. Josh, if there was one thing you wanted to do to be different on this slate, right? Oh, and by the way, we're not even at 100 likes yet. So please, if you're one of those 9 people we need to get there, please take that single second. And we appreciate you greatly. If there's one thing you think we could do today to be different, but also not stupid, to put yourself in a decent spot, whether it's ownership, whether it's just lineup construction, that's a lot different. Is there anything right now early in the day that you think makes sense?
Before this show started, we had Gabe Vincent projected for 26% ownership, 24% at utility. So let's just go with that. I have him in the optimal lineup 40% of the time. I think Gabe Vincent is the easiest guy to go to. He is my highest leverage play as of right now. So I think that has to be my answer of how to be different. Not that he's like different. He's still in a quarter of lineups, but the best answer that I can give is that my highest leverage play for right now is Gabe Vincent. We'll see if that changes after the news for Derek White. I can't imagine it matters all that much. So I think Gabe Vincent's underrepresented at 4,400. He's the starting point guard for the Heat, and it doesn't appear that they like taking him off the floor.
I think you make a very good point there. I was surprised to see how cheap he was as well. Whew. All right. And yes, Rosso Music, you are right. The YouTube overlords are watching. It's 1984 up in this bitch. George Orwell's 1984, but right here in the YouTube channels, Josh. So, people got to help us out. They can gift super chats, not to us, or not. I'm sorry, not super chats, memberships, not to us, but to the community, which is pretty cool. You'll be a beloved member of the community. What's it called? A philanthropist? You'll be an Awesemo philanthropist.
An Awesemo full-on rapist.
Yeah, that is one phenomenal way to incentivize people to gift super chats.
I thought so.
Best host in the biz right here, Josh Engelman, folks. Anyway, follow Josh at Josh Engelman, me at Laffy_D. Shout out to Jordan Klein for producing as always. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow, but actually tonight as well. So stick around. Plenty of stuff coming up. Peace.